so today we're moving on into Unit 12 still, which today we're looking at 12.3, which is dealing with something called intersecting chords. So basically we learned what chords were on 12.2, and now we're going to look at what happens when two of those intersect each other and the relationship they build. So let's jump into that. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is it says the products, so products means multiply, so I'm multiplying here, of the lengths of the segments of the intersecting chords are equal. So if I look here, I have from point here to here, and from here to here, so if I multiply those two together, so A times D, and then if I take from here to here, and from here to here and multiply those together, those would then be equal to each other. So the product of this segment and this segment, the product of this segment and this segment together. So basically those two on the same line multiplied together and those two on the same line multiplied together would be equal to each other. So I can use this and set up an equation, then end up solving it to find the missing one if I need to, okay? My next thing is if I'm trying to find angles. So right now it says the measure of the angle formed by the intersecting chords is half the sum of the measure of the intercepted arcs. So for instance, if I wanted to find angle 1 here, if you look, angle 1 is formed by these two chords crossing each other. So right now angle 1 opens up to P to Q right here. And also angle 1 on the other side, which is angle 3 as well, is going to open up to RS. So those two sides added together, and I'm going to take half of that, and that's going to give me angle 1. Okay, so I'm going to take both of these theorems and I'm going to apply them to my examples, and hopefully it makes sense in the end. All right, so looking at example number 1, it's asking what is the measure of angle DSA. So I have angle DSA, so it looks like I need to find this angle right here. Okay, so if I look, that angle opens up to DA, and then on the other side of that, that angle opens up to CB right here. So those are going to be my two intercepted arcs. So I know to find this, I have to take 1/2 the measure of those two arcs. So I'm going to do AD plus CB here. Okay. So right now I know AB here is going to be 153, and I'm adding 19 to that, and I'm going to take half of that. So 153 plus 19 is going to give me 172. And then all I have to do is take half of that. So half of that is going to end up giving me 86 degrees. So that means angle DSA is going to be 86 degrees. Again, take those two intercepted arcs, add them together, and take half of it, and that's going to end up giving me my arc here, okay, or my angle. So let's go and look at example number 2. Okay, on example number 2, it wants me to find the value of x. So if you look, I have two chords crossing each other. I know the products of those are going to end up multiplying together and going to be equal to each other. So I know 10 and 24 are on the same line. So I'm going to do 10 times 24, and I'm going to set that equal to 15 and x are on the same line. So I'm going to do 15 times x here. So literally all I have to do is solve for x now. So 10 times 24 is going to be 240. And now in order to get x by itself, I'm going to divide by 15 on both sides. So 240 divided by 15 is going to end up giving me 16. So x is going to end up giving me 16 here. So again, the products of those two crossing are going to be equal to each other, and that's how I end up solving for that. Let's jump over to example number 3. Okay, so on example number 3, it wants me to find the value of x here. So if you look, I have two chords being crossing each other. And so I know that I've been given this angle right here. So I know to find that angle, I'm going to end up taking half of the two intercepted arcs, correct? Added together. So that means in order for me to find this, which is angle 60, is going to be equal to 1/2 the measure of 55 plus 5x plus 15. Okay? And so now I'm literally just going to solve here. So I know 15 and 55, if I add those together, is going to give me 70. So 60 is going to be equal to 1/2 of 5x plus 70. In order to get rid of 1/2, I'm going to multiply by 2 on both sides. So that's going to give me 120 is equal to 5x plus 70. I'm going to subtract 70, which is going to end up giving me 50, right? So subtract 70, take 20 away, so that'll end up giving me 50, and then divide by 5 on both sides. So x is going to end up giving me 10 here. So ladies and gentlemen, I literally just used the formula, those intercepted arcs added together, and taking half of it's gonna give me that angle. So I created my equation and ended up solving for x here, okay? Let's jump over to our last example. Okay, so on our last example, it wants me to find the value of x. So if you look, I have two chords crossing each other. I know when two chords cross each other, their segments, the products of those when multiplied together is gonna be equal to each other. So I know that this and this are on the same line. So I'm literally gonna take 15 and I'm gonna multiply it by x plus 1. I know that this and this are on the same line. So I'm gonna take 10 and I'm gonna multiply it by x plus 4. So the products of those two segments are gonna be equal to each other. So now all I have to do is solve. So distribute the 15. So that's gonna give me 15x plus 15. And distribute the 10. So that's gonna give me 10x plus 4, 40. I'm gonna subtract 10 on both sides, which is gonna give me 5x. I'm gonna subtract 15 on both sides, which is gonna give me 25. I'm gonna divide by 5 on both sides, which is gonna in return give me 5. And so that's gonna end up giving me the value of x here. So I hope you can take these theorems and apply them to your skill check. If you need extra practice, there will be a quiz at the end of the video. Other than that, good luck on your skill check and let me know if you need any help.